Hey, this is Carla from the Butcher Babies.
This is George Corpse Fisher from Cannibal Corpse.
Hey, this is Rex from Kill Devil Hill. It's Wednesday 13.
This is Jazz from Devil Driving.
This is Odorous from Quad. You're listening to Rabid Noise
on Rabid Radio.
Turn it up.
Jamey, how are you, man?
Good, how you doing?
Yeah, good, dude. What's going on?
Oh, just starting the day. It's 8:30 over here.
Oh, brutal.
I got the coffee brewing, getting ready to rock. Gotta rock it today. Gotta be on point.
Well, yeah, you're prepping for a European tour, right?
Yeah, we're leaving Wednesday.
Oh, okay, so you still got a couple of days?
Yeah, a couple days to pack up, tie up all the loose ends.
So how's the prep going for the tour anyway?
Great. I just saw the new backdrops and the scrims and lighting show. It's going to be good. I think the Leipzig show sold out. Oberhausen is very close to being sold out. Amsterdam's looking like it's going to be good. A lot of these places we haven't played in a while, and this is such like a young, hot lineup. Bands that normally we don't play with. We especially last year we played with. We toured with Zakk Wylde, we toured with Slipknot, we did more kind of, I guess, I don't want to say an older audience, but, people that were more in our age range. Zakk Wylde is a little bit older than us, Slipknot's a little bit older than us, but this tour, these bands are like 10, 15 years younger than us. So it's a nice little change of pace. I already see, I'm looking on my Instagram, and people are. What do they do? They tag. What is it? They tag you.
Yeah.
In the photo, and so people are tagging me in the photos of they got their tickets, they got their shirts, they got their pre-order. So it seems like people are really pumped. It's a lot of young kids, so it's gonna be cool.
That'd be awesome, man. Because you guys have been doing it for so many years now, and it's just the fans are as you said, these young dudes. I guess they'd be the older brother or the dad, the cool dad, be taking them along and stuff like that, or sharing the records. That must be a pretty cool feeling, man.
Well, we saw that on the Warped Tour in Australia. We were playing right before Amity Affliction, and at first, you got these 13-year-old girls who are these scary dudes with beards and shaved heads and bandanas and fucking Slayer t-shirts. And then by the end of the set, they're rocking out. Their horns are in the air. They're going to buy a 2XL Hatebreed shirt. They're wearing it like a dress. And you're like, wow, this is great. You're turning on new people to heavy shit. And they're open to it. They have open minds. And that's a beautiful thing. It's you can only do so many tours where people are set in their ways and they don't want to, they don't want to check out heavy shit. But with that Warped Tour, we were like, wow, this audience is receptive. So it's cool. And that's kind of this Empiricon Fest feels like that a little bit, because obviously I'm familiar with a band like Emir, or I like that band Chelsea Grin. They sent me a song on Twitter, super heavy, death metal influenced sort of band. But then there's these other bands on there that I never heard of until recently, Bless the Fall, North Lane, and these are wildly popular bands. You have to get the new and the old together, bridge the gap, be inclusive. To me, I always liked those tours growing up where the bands were inclusive. Just because, Exploited doesn't sound like Biohazard doesn't mean they can't tour together. I saw that tour. Or I saw Crowbar and Morbid Angel. They're two totally different styles, but they came together to tour, and it's great. Now that's kind of happening in with this next generation of bands, and it's a short tour, so we're gonna get in, get out, and get back to America, and we'll do a 4-week run with Devil Driver, which is gonna be good too.
That sounds insane, man. That sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. And North Lane are one of our guys.
Yeah, I just watched their video on YouTube. The band sounds killer, and there's a band on some of the shows that I sang on their record. I sang a song on the record called Bury Tomorrow, and they were killer. And then Chelsea Grin, what was the other one? There's another one on there too. Despised Icon, who we played with a bunch.
Oh, they're great.
So there's a little something for everybody, and I think that's important nowadays. You don't want to hear the same thing 5 bands in a row. You want to have an eclectic taste, right? You want to have a from start to finish a different experience each time.
I mean, you guys have always been one of those bands that, as you said, can share the stage with pretty much anyone, and you've toured with so many bands from different subgenres. I mean, and what do you think it is about, Hatebreed that allows you to do that?
Just not being tied down to one lane. If you're in one lane and you're trying to go into a different lane, people are like, whoa, 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 stay in your lane. But we have been we're like a tank. We're going in that lane whether you want us to or not. Like that's just our thing. Like I was just doing some stuff for the UK, and they said, one of the journalists had said, oh, you're the only band that's done Warped Tour, Bloodstock, Download, Reading, Leeds, Ghost Fest, Hammerfest. And so they list off like 8 different musically, completely different festivals that we've either headlined or played like, close to the top on the bill. And now we're adding Empiricon to that list. So I guess that's a good thing. You never want to be nailed down you don't want to be painted into a corner, right? Like if you look at the great bands, like the timeless bands, the bands that are very, you can put on any of their songs and that it's them. Like if you put on the Ramones, you go, oh, that's the Ramones. You don't go, oh, that's, Coldplay. No, you go, that's the Ramones. You put on AC/DC, you go, that's AC/DC. You put on Motorhead, that's Motorhead. And that's what we want to do with Hatebreed. But you notice that with those bands, people of all walks of life like those bands. People who like hip-hop like AC/DC. People who like country like AC/DC. So why can't the same be said for a heavy band? Why can't a heavy band be liked by people who like punk, or people who like pop punk, or people who like dubstep or whatever? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it should be a little bit more, I guess people should have a little bit more of an open mind. I mean, I remember, back in like the 90s, dude, we'd go to your mate's place and one side he'd have posters of Cypress Hill and the other side would be Slayer,
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Totally.
You're about to drop your latest album, The Concrete Confessional, on May 13, and dude, I've been listening to it all day, and it just crushes, man. It's so good. Yeah,
Glad to hear.
Album number 7 for you guys. Did you do anything different to approach the writing this time compared to the previous ones?
Just simplify it and just make sure you don't overcomplicate things, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've just got to come hard with the heavy jams. Make sure they're catchy, make sure you want to listen to it over and over again, and you don't want to skip certain tracks. And I think we were able to capture that. We did it in a little small studio, kind of similar how we did the first record. Like, we don't need this whole big studio. We don't need all this extra shit coming into the whole process. We could just strip it down. It's just got to be meat and potatoes. And for the vegans, we'll say, all the veggies, all the good veggies, like that's what it's got to be. It's got to be simple. It doesn't have, we don't need to change the recipe. It's our 7th album. We got so many dedicated diehard supporters all over the world. They like what we do. So why throw a wrench in it? Like why kill the momentum in hopes cause why do bands try to change their sound? Cause they want to expand. They want to get bigger. Usually it's like a greed type of move, right? But like, how much do we need? How many more fans do we really need? Like, do we need to go grab all these radio bands? Like, do we need a song that's going to go on the radio with all these bands that are like commercial rock? No, it's probably not going to work anyways, because the band is called Hatebreed, and we have a history of making heavy records. So if we're going to go be accessible now, that's not good.
Well, man, it's whatever you're doing, it's working. Because this new album, it does sound pretty fresh, man. It sounds more relevant than ever, and even, other bands that I've heard releases this year. It's solid, dude. I can't say enough good things about it, and how you know, as I said, it sounds fresh. It sounds, I can't put my finger on it. I'm still processing it, but I love it.
Oh, thank you. No, that's good to hear.
Well, man, pretty much everyone I know down here is a Hatebreed fan. Like, you can't go to a show without seeing at least 5 Hatebreed shirts. It's like...
Oh, that's good news.
You know, and, you know, you've always had a strong fan base down here in Australia, and what seems to be a strong connection with Australia in general. I mean, you know, you've been here plenty of times. What is it about the Aussies that keeps you guys coming back?
Oh, it's just the best. I mean, you never think, like, as a kid growing up, that you're going to be able to go so far away from home and have people really enjoy it, really like it, and it just goes to show that music is the equalizer. Like, it's this universal language. You know, to have people have the same reaction halfway across the globe, it's great. And I think for us, just initially doing those early tours with Slipknot, Soulfly, and then coming back and just constantly trying to keep Australia on our touring circuit, I think that appreciation is like a cyclical power, right? It's like it shows our excitement, our drive, that to want to always come back and always have it be a stop on our world tour is appreciated, and vice versa, you know, because we've seen the lean years, you know, metal and hardcore, there's peaks and valleys, you know, and I guess the Warped Tour Australia was like the valley, you know, where you go, okay, you're going to take a little bit of a pay cut and you're going to play to a little bit of a less of an audience, but you're going to get these new kids, and there's constant change, right? Like there's a constant, the world is always moving. It's always changing. And so now I think with the death of the festival, you're going to see this reignition of the club show, because the club show is of so much value to people still in Australia. And people are hip to the fact that you're overpaying for all these other bands that you might not want to see, and then the bands that you do want to see are playing at the same time. The festival, it ran its course. It was fun. It was great. I appreciate every opportunity we had to do it, but now it's time to bring the value back to the club. Loud amps in the face, fucking cranked. Every amp is on. The sweat is pouring from the ceiling. And for this 90 minutes of the Hatebreed set, you got no bills, you got no taxes, you got no drama with your girlfriend, you got no hospital to go to or fucking anything. You just got loud amps in the face, and that is going to be something of serious value. Look, like I don't want to see Watain at 11 a.m. at the same time as fucking Satyricon. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. Like, let's bring the fucking club back and let's pack it out. Let's fucking have the time of our lives, and let's go on from there, you know?
Something about a club show, the energy in club shows, man. Yeah, I prefer it personally. I mean, you're there with all your buddies and just that chaos, you know?
There's a value that is provided that you really almost can't quantify. It's like, and look, there's people that they're just not built for it. They're just not made for it. And I get it. That was why the festival worked for a long time. It's like, look, you know what? I'm going to go to one show a year. And it's, you know, we saw that. We had that in the States for a while. You know, like there was a lot of traveling festivals or certain festivals where people are like, look, this is my one show. This is my one concert that I go to for the year. And I'm going to try to see as many bands as I can that I like at this concert. And that's great. But then there's like a different culture of these are people that they go to clubs, they go to shows. And that's just a different walk of life. Some people can hack it. Some people can't. You know, some people don't want to be, some people want to just sit behind the computer and complain. You know, I'm not one of those people. I want loud amps in the face. I want sweat pouring from the ceiling. I want to leave exhausted and empowered.
Feels like you've done something, doesn't it? Instead of sitting on your ass and on the computer, it feels like you've achieved something when you get out there and you've got your bang over the next day and you go to work and you're like, how was the gig? And you're like, man, I'm feeling it today and it was the best time I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. And you go, wow, this guy came from all, like, I remember